New IBF champion Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. already training after newly becoming champion, beating KELL Brooks. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest. Now, I told you guys, for me, part of Boxingego, ego as a person, what I want to do with the brand is pay homage to the great things in boxing. You know what I mean? We talk about everything under the sun. Sometimes there's race in racism in boxing or double standards, but I do want to show and pay homage to the good things too. When I see people doing what they're supposed to be doing, I want to bring that to the channel also. You know what I mean? So you get everything under Boxingego umbrella, right? When I seen this, Errol Spence Jr., he's already doing road work. He doesn't have a fight. There's no opponent. And this is what I like to see, man. This is the mark. Despite if a person, see, listen to me. Despite if a person can or cannot be great, like if they don't amount to what they were forecasted to do, this is the behavior that I personally like to see, because you can't knock somebody for challenging themselves, fighting the best, taking their job serious, training. You know what I mean? These are all things that I respect, because I feel like I try to do that. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna be doing the YouTube boxing, then I want to kill it. I want to give you guys as much information and cover events and get exclusives and, you know what I mean, all of that, everything under the sun. And it doesn't matter what I did. I could be a janitor and I would find a way to simplify things and make my job seamless. So, you know what I mean, I have a path, and I love to see this from fighters. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Case in point, Errol Spence just got a belt. He went over to hostile territory, UK. He could have easily just spent time with family, barbecue. Memorial Day was just recently, you know what I mean? And he could just be enjoying life. Like, yeah, I made it. You know what I mean? It hit me. And just kick back. And he has every right to do that. But the fact that with no date, he's still trying to make sure he's within a certain weight and level of conditioning, I'm always for that. It's some of these guys are pro athletes, but they don't live like pro athletes. Like, if you watch a lot of the guys from the NFL, this is not just when the football season is going on. A lot of them dudes is like mad dogging in the gym year round. Like, it doesn't matter. That's actually when they improve and get new gains and faster speed is in their off season. So boxers, it's different because you're not on a team and stuff like that. Maybe you don't have, you know what I mean, sparring work, or it depends. But some people make the individual choice not to stay in shape year round. You know what I mean? Not to at least get some work in. You know, I'm not saying you have to go hard and spar 200 rounds or something, but I like to see this, man, and I really do, especially from a young champion, because that shows me that a young champion wants to stay a champion, because you're making sure that you're always ready, so you don't have to get ready, right? And until I see otherwise, then I'm always going to celebrate, like I said, the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spence that have that work ethic. And I really believe, I'm not giving credit to Floyd for another man's work ethic. However, I think those were good. The people he seen and sparred with and got to be in front of before he became a champion, I think that is a great thing. I mean, he's even said that in interviews, like just saying, oh man, Floyd work ethic, you know what I'm saying? And he's talking about how Floyd works hard. And I think that's a great experience to have under your belt before you're a champion, seeing how hard, because I heard all kinds of stories about Floyd. People say, oh, he hit his girlfriend and this and that, and he fired his chef. Oh, I hear all types of stories. One story I've never heard from anybody closely surrounded him is that man does not put in the work and he's lazy. I've never heard anyone that's been around that. If anything, I've heard and interviewed people affiliated or talked to people off camera and stuff, and they're in the Mayweather gym and they're like, man, this dude's an animal. Like, he'll go running at 4 a.m. and stuff like that. So when I see that, Floyd's from a different generation. Pacquiao, I heard he has a really good work ethic also, right? But a lot of times he trains in the Philippines, so I don't have as many connections of interviewing people that have watched him train. But I hear from other people. But the point being, Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, they're from a different generation. They're older than these young class, so they're cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? That's how the game was. You had to earn your keep. But now with social media, you can talk some trash and maybe get buzzing and get popping and stuff nowadays. So to me, when I see young fighters do certain things, like have a work ethic or use a jab or a body punch, that's impressive, because not all the young fighters are doing that. Now, as far as Errol Spence, we don't know when he's coming back, but he said he would like to come back in September and have a homecoming fight, kind of like Deontay Wilder when he fought in Alabama against Eric Molina. So most people are like, oh, he needs to fight Thurman. It's not going to be a big fight next, I'm telling you, because one, Thurman's hurt. His elbow looks like, I don't know, looks like it looked bad, and he's not coming back till November, December. So that fight to me is not going to happen this year. As much as I would want it to happen, I've seen the call outs and the back and forth banter. It's not going to happen this year. I'm almost positive of that, especially when one man has an injury. And Errol Spence even said that. He said, I got to talk to my manager. This is a direct quote, Al Heyman. But yeah, definitely, I would like to get in there before Thurman comes back. He's going to be out 6-7 months, and he has to get back in shape. So he might be out a total of 9 months. So I definitely like to get in a fight before that. So I'm hearing September in Dallas, possibly Dallas, possibly on Fox free TV. And that's always a good thing. That's always a blessing when you can get these fighters in front of a good audience, hometown audience, a good crowd on free TV, network TV. His last fight with Kell Brook was on Showtime. So I think that'll be a good look. I don't even know who he could fight, who would want him to, I don't know. I think Luis Collazo, that would be a good fight. You see how Thurman was doing good and then got hurt to the body. Collazo's tricky. You know what I mean? Arguably, he didn't lose to Berto or Ricky Hatton. You know what I mean? So that would be a good fight. I would really like to see that fight, because Thurman struggled in that one round with him and was badly hurt. So that'll be kind of like a Bundu barometer style test, and it's a title defense. Collazo's resume is not blemish free. They're both southpaw, I believe. So I would like to see something like that. I can't think off the top of my head, because some fights, I don't think some fighters would even want to take the Errol Spence challenge. Like, I can't picture Josecito Lopez or Brandon Rios. They're trying to get back. Like, I know Josecito just won his last fight. Rios has a fight coming up this week, but they're trying to get back multiple wins and, you know what I mean, refine some stuff. So I don't think they would want to take that type of challenge. So it might be a little bit difficult finding a top name to fight him next. Even Danny Garcia. I'm not saying Danny Garcia is scared, because I don't believe that. I think Danny Garcia proved time and time again. Amir Khan, Lucas Matisse, Lamont Peterson, Keith Thurman. I don't think he's afraid, but he just lost a fight. So I don't see him wanting to come back and immediately fight at Errol Spence Jr. because it's almost dumb. You look at Kell Brook. Kell Brook is 2 fights removed from being undefeated. You know what I mean? And nobody was saying, now people in 2 fights, keep in mind, one was at a higher division, people are saying retire. You're done. You know what I'm saying? So you got to manage your career in the right way. I don't really like, my message to these fighters, don't fight for the fans, fight for you, because when it's all said and done, a lot of these fans aren't loyal. A lot of these are fair weather fans. You know what I'm saying? Like Kell Brook, like I said, he lost 2 fights, and they're like, you're out of here, making fun of him. And they're saying the IBF champion, and they're spelling instead of the letter I, they're putting EYE because he had 2 eye injuries and shit. You know what I mean? Making jokes. So I'm just saying, like, you got to fight your fight. And if you're coming off a loss, especially a bad loss, then you got to get your bearings back. But to wrap this video up, I like what Spence is doing. I like what he stands for, making the call out, staying in shape, and let's see more of it. I don't know if you guys have ideas of who you think he should fight next. Let me know that in the comment section, but I really like it. Obviously, Sean Porter would be a good fight, but I'm gonna let you guys in on the business. I know the Porters, shout out to them, Kenny and Sean, and it's nothing to do with being afraid. They've sparred Errol Spence, they know him, they're friends, but they were able to put business aside and friendships aside to make the Keith Thurman fight, so they probably would fight him. But if you look at boxing as a business, it doesn't necessarily make sense to potentially lose your spot trying for the IBF belt when you could go the WBC route, and that's a guy you already have a lot of experience with, which is Keith Thurman, and you arguably beat him. So you gotta keep in mind, Spence is looking like a killer, and he's looking like a threat. And even though Porter sparred Spence before, from what I heard, he's still probably more familiar with Keith Thurman because they sparred probably more rounds, and then they had a professional fight under the lights, and Porter did very well for himself. Some people thought he won. So Porter's ranked #1 within the WBC. So as a fan, I'll say, yeah, let's see Porter versus Spence right away, right now. You know what I mean? But that's just not how it works. Why would Porter lose his #1 positioning within the WBC to fight Spence, who only has 1 belt, when you're #1 to Keith Thurman, and you could put the, you know what I mean, put the pressure to his neck, and he has 2 belts. And you, again, you know your style fares well with him. You can go back, watch tape, and see what you did right or wrong in the first fight, stuff like that. So you got to be strategic the way you move. So I don't know. I think Spence will probably have like a low-level opposition for a title defense. Like basically not a low level, but just middle of the road, like a Eric Molina when Deontay Wilder fought Eric Molina. I think it'll be something like that. You know what I mean? Just a random name. And if we get somebody who's a bigger name like Lamont Peterson, Porter, then more power to it. But a lot of these guys, they got to move how they move. You know what I'm saying? And Lamont Peterson, he's a mandatory for Keith Thurman's WBA belt, I believe. So I don't know if he's going to try to, being new to welterweight, if he's going to try to rush and fight Errol Spence. Actually, I heard they were trying to make that fight before, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know what you guys think. I like Errol Spence's his tenacity, and it looks like he wants to stay a champion. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.